the Shen and Shan Show, where Shenice, my mom,
and Shan the Pan
interview with LGBTQ plus professionals and entrepreneurs.
So let's get giddy and start the show.
All righty, welcome to the Shen and Shan Show, and I'm Shan.
And I'm Shenice. Welcome. We have Alyssia and Dani here today from Wildflower Apothecary. Did I say that right?
I don't know.
Wildflower Apothecary. Okay, perfect.
Apothecary.
No, Shan.
Apothecary.
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 Oh, forget it. My country accent, it's not gonna work.
So welcome, Alyssia and Dani. Do you know how we know Alyssia and Dani?
I know Alyssia through you, so
That's right.
therefore I know Dani through Alyssia.
Yep.
Yeah.
The chain of command here. Okay. So yes, Alyssia and I, we know each other from elementary school back in New York. Oh, it's been too long. I didn't like Alyssia back then. She used to steal my pencils.
Oh, your pencils. Somebody stole something else of yours the other day in the journal. You'd be making them. I heard your side of the story. I want to hear her side of the story.
She definitely stole my pencil. So I used to, we used to have the desk that have the, has the insert, there's space in there. You slide your books in, and then you have that little indent in the desk, at the front part where you put your pencils in. And I don't know if y'all used to do this, but did y'all ever squirt glue in that little indent to make it dry and then make like glue balls? No? Oh my gosh. Never mind. Forget I said anything. But anyways, I know Alyssia back from elementary school. We wound up going to middle school together. That's pretty much when we really became friends. We didn't go to high school together, but we always kept in touch. We're always close. And now she's somehow still my friend. So welcome. And Dani, we know through Alyssia because they're lovebirds over there. So congrats on all the love.
All day.
So to get started, Alyssia and Dani, please, this is our first couples interview. So take your time, but of course, allow each other to talk. Unlike me and Shan, I feel like I do most of the talking, but introduce yourself to our audience. We'd love to know more about you, your background, where you're from, how you were raised, and what's going on in your life. Give us a little bit of a short version of your life story.
I just like the
You okay, Shan?
The people are happy.
I almost said the wrong word. The juicy stuff. That's
okay. Yeah, she likes the juicy stuff. But anyways, give us your short introduction.
There's no juicy stuff over here with me. Oh boy. Well, I'm Alyssia. I'm born and raised from New York, transplanted to San Diego. Now here I am. What do you need? I'm a
So you popped out and then moved to San Diego.
Yep, I was like, you know what? This is too much. Bright lights mean people, traffic. I'm out of here.
Amen. I can't be happier to be in Texas. But anyways.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I moved here the end of April. So it's only been a couple months. And then she came. It's not too long after me here. But yeah, I've only been here a couple months. So from here, I'm a flight attendant. We started Wildflower Apothecary, while we were here. Yeah. Yeah, and then it started taking off. So
is that a pandemic business?
Absolutely.
Alyssia wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say it is, solely because it's always been something that I wanted to do. I just feel like I had the actual time to execute it.
Exactly, which is like Shen and Shan Show, with Shen and Shan Show.
Because they needed the income due to the pandemic. Right. No, you were just fortunate enough to be able to start your own business. Yeah, during the pandemic. Right.
So I can see exactly where you're coming from because Shen and Shan Show, we were supposed to start this like 2 years ago. And we just literally, because of the pandemic, got time to actually sit down, focus, and be like, okay, well, we have no more excuses. Like, let's get this done, right? So, okay. So Alyssia, you want to give us any more details about your life?
I don't know. What do you need? My family's Jamaican. Got Panamanian. Got some Caribbean. Got some Spanish. I cook a lot. I bake a lot. I went on a hike today. It was great. Got some air. COVID-free air.
Okay. Alyssa likes to be difficult, so we're going to move on to Dani now. And hopefully...
the pencils all over again.
So we'll move on to Dani. Dani, give us your life story, please. Tell us all about you.
My story is going to be way too long and way too complicated. It's so much of a roller coaster. I'm not going to be able to get into that all right now.
Condemned.
Yeah, for sure. So born and raised in Florida. As soon as I hit 18, I followed my then girlfriend to New York. Lived in New York for a year. Moved from New York to Nashville. Lived in Nashville for about a year. Then relocated to Atlanta. Was there for 7 years. Had an entire life. A whole life, wife and kids. Got divorced. Moved to Florida. Went to massage therapy school. Became a massage therapist. And while I was in school, met Alyssa, and now I'm in San Diego. So here I am.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good little synopsis there.
So I like to jump to this a little bit early, even though we're going to get to your coming out story. I like to ask everybody, when did they feel or know they were, gay or lesbian?
Yeah. So,
or bi?
Yeah. I knew I was different. I didn't know what gay was. I was like 5 or 6. I think I was in kindergarten, and I remember finding something about my kindergarten teacher, who happened to be a female, very attractive. I don't know what I was attracted.
Yeah.
What it was. I knew I was drawn to her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, like, you're beautiful.
Right.
I want to be near you as much as possible while I'm in your class.
Right.
And you think that was an attraction, not like a motherly figure or anything like that. It wasn't like a parental or even a friendship thing. You thought it was more than that.
Right,
whatever you could think of at that stage in kindergarten.
Yeah, I can definitely tell the difference between, my friend Emily in class versus, this teacher. And I was like, wow, what's going on? So yeah, I think it was around like age 6 for me.
I always wonder how many, we're gonna say girls had crushes on their female teachers when they were younger, because I definitely
Oh, I'm sure so. Because you don't know what you're feeling, because you haven't discovered that part of yourself yet.
Right.
Now that I think about it, I think I had a crush on Miss Brooke. You remember Miss Brooke? She was a brand new teacher in junior high. It was her
What did she
first
teach?
English or something. The only thing I remember is like trying to hide my test because I got like a 96, and that was bad. Ooh, my finger like a nice little bruise. What's that? Oh, I fell. I fell.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting, because
Yeah. I used to
later in life, I feel like later in life, now I can look back and see some things in myself that I wasn't able to see before, because it wasn't until I was in my 20s, early 20s, that I started to notice, like, oh, well, I don't just like guys.
Denial is not just a river.
Thanks, Alyssa. And so I think Shannon and I were talking about it the other day, that, I remember having these dreams about, I feel like it was like my first or second grade teacher. And it was more than just like it's like you were saying, like that dream was like a whole like attraction thing. And I didn't understand it at the time.
You don't know how to process it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
at that age, you're so
And I don't remember a lot of things. I feel like a lot of my childhood is lost. Like my memory is like gone. Like I don't even remember much about kindergarten. I don't remember much. Even when I moved from Jamaica to New York when I was 6, I don't really remember too much even about Jamaica. So a lot of my memories I feel like are lost. However, that's one of those memories that stuck with me. And I'm like, well, now like 2 and 2 is coming together. I'm like, well, maybe I have been all my life and I just wasn't able to process it or come into it or know that it was okay or whatever the case may be. So yeah, definitely. That's really interesting that you say that. So you're drawn to your kindergarten teacher. That's when you knew. Alyssia, what about you?
You know the story. You were there.
I know the story. The audience doesn't know the story.
Story to tell people though. So I was on the bus with Shenice Brown. Government. I was on the bus with Shenice Brown. And we were going back to her house, which we did every day after school. We used to take the 77 this bus every day.
That's because y'all could be sneaky.
No, we had to. We lived in New York. You had to
take the city bus.
76 every day after school, and her dad would take us to school in the morning. It was so sneaky. We had to go to school. So we were on the 77, and I said something to Shenice about like someone's butt. It was a girl's butt, and Shenice was like, "You look at girls' butts?" I was like, "You don't?" Alyssa, we're Christian.
I definitely
like that. I was like, I guess everyone doesn't think this way. Like that was, I thought everyone thought that way. So I never really came out. It was more of the sense of like, yeah, this is normal, right? To me, I thought it was normal until you were like, no, I don't do that.
And it's crazy that you say that because I don't even know why I wouldn't think it was normal because I feel like, I'm not sure, but maybe something I couldn't understand. I don't even feel like I knew exactly what gay was at that point.
Right.
I don't even recall really meeting someone or knowing someone that was out and gay until I was in my 20s. So I have no idea where my judgments came from. I don't know if it was, media. I have no clue.
But I think that's normal. I think a lot of people.
You know what? It comes from Jamaican culture because you know what? It's embedded in Jamaican songs. That must be it.
You know what a fosse is, Shan?
Huh?
A fosse?
A fosse?
Shani?
A batty boy.
All the same word for a gay person.
Yeah.
Batty boy, batty man, fosse, all of it means gay.
Yeah. And now that I'm
being any type of homosexual, unless it's sexualized.
Right.
So I'm wondering, that must be it. And I'm assuming a lot of family have used those terms and sung the songs with so much passion. I've never seen it with my own eyes at that, or not that I could recall or, recollect. But now that we're talking through it, I'm like, well, it's so deeply ingrained in Jamaican culture to reject that.
Yeah.
It had to have been ingrained in me as well.
Yeah, I remember even growing up hearing about Jamaican culture. I knew that homosexuality was something that was really, really bad. Because I remember meeting your family for the first time. I thought I was going to get chopped up or something,
Yeah.
Because y'all Jamaicans know y'all
it's like deep within tradition, deep in certain cultures, and deep within religion too.
I don't think it's just Jamaicans though. I think we're just
right. No,
very outwardly violent about it. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, I don't think it's just Jamaicans, by the way.
She goes there and she literally started crying because this man said to her like, "Oh, a gay person? No, we would chop them up." Like literally. And she was so taken back. Could you imagine hearing something like that from someone when you are gay?
Yeah. And no, I don't think it's just Jamaicans, but I'm just saying.
There are definitely a lot of cultures that share the same belief.
Right. But out of all the other cultures, I just know as far as Jamaican, I guess in your music or just hearing it either on social media or in the news was more likely a Jamaican person that's more outwardly about hurting someone that was gay,
right?
Particularly gay males.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, I think that's really important. Just really interesting because y'all are drawing stuff out of me that I didn't even really. I think I haven't thought through it really, and that's why these type of conversations are really important because then we can start to find where the broken pieces, the missing links are, because I was super judgmental of Alyssia. I was like, what Christian? Like, I remember her telling me about a sleepover and she wanted to kiss somebody, and I was just like,
It happened.
what?
Not all of it happened, but
Exactly. And I was just like, what?
The kissing definitely happened. What happens after that?
We don't gotta talk about it right now.
And then as I got older, in my early 20s, I also had a friend that I guess that did what I did to Alyssia. I don't think I definitely did turn my back on Alyssia in that regard. And well, in a way I did. I mean, I don't.
Very surprised. Like, it never hindered our friendship by any means.
Yeah, I know it didn't hinder our friendship. However, I was not.
Confused. You kept asking.
Yeah, I was really confused, but I also don't think I was very open to it. Like, I wouldn't even like give it a chance to completely understand it. So in that regard, I feel like I did turn my back, because now that I'm older, I'm big on being open-minded about all. Like, let's completely, if I don't know it and I've not experienced it, then I have no right to say necessarily what's right or wrong, unless it clearly, has some black and white lines that it really, divides. But now I'm really about critical thinking and understanding where other people are coming from, because we're all of different cultures, we're all of different backgrounds. So I do think I turned my back on that end in our friendship. And then I experienced that with another friend at the time when I just moved here to Texas, who did what I did to you, but they did to me, where they turned their back on me as soon as I opened up about, having feelings for women. And so
I have a question for you though. So how old were you guys whenever
We were in junior high school.
Right, okay, so maybe
we had
like
to
10,
be like
11, barely
11,
double digits, right?
maybe 12.
no, we were older than that. I feel like that was
No,
junior high? It was a little older, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't older. I don't think. No, it wasn't older.
So basically like
Because when
preteen.
yeah,
Preteen?
definitely
Preteen?
preteen.
So how old were you whenever you moved to Texas and you had this friend like
I had to have been like 21, 22.
really? So how did it affect you being on the other side of that, being at a much older like state of mind, more mature?
Yeah.
Like how did
How to
it
make
affect
you
you?
feel? Yeah.
Well, when I first started to have feelings for a woman, I did not know how to process it. Like, I remember going to a friend I had at work, and this was when I used to work for Microsoft, and I went and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening to me. Like, what's going on? Like, and clearly I went to the right friend, because she was like, Shenice, this is perfectly normal. It's okay. Like, lean in and listen to what is, what your mind, your heart is saying to you. And she was just like, it's perfectly normal. And obviously she's had, well, it's not obvious, but she has had friends and knows people, and she was older than me at the time too. So she's been in that part of the world where she knows people who are, of the LGBTQ community, and could kind of say like, Shenice, calm down, like, get a grip. It's okay.
Right.
We're in the 2000s now. Like, this is going to happen. Like, it's okay. So
You're not sick. Everything's okay.
Right. And it's so amazing like how much our generation like has shown so much progression between like our parents'
We
generation.
have evolved tremendously, and I say this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, people try to give Generation Z a lot of shit, but they are more accepting than any other generation
more
ever.
more like accepting and more like vocal than any other generation.
Yeah.
I believe.
Like, Danny's kid will walk around and be like, yeah, I have 4 moms. Say something about it. I got 4
that's
moms.
the thing. If you make it normal, if you don't make it a thing, then it will, that is their normal, and that's okay. Like, I think that we should be raising our kids to be way more open-minded than previous generations have taught their kids. Like, the way we do it in this household is the right way, period. That's it. Like, not necessarily, everybody's different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had the experience about what's wrong with me. I just always knew, I mean, what's grade you start wearing deodorant or we start having those little smells.
I was young.
You know, I was always attracted.
You were like,
I was always attracted to
grade school. Yeah, you're like,
Yeah, I was like 7, 8, 9, but go ahead.
yeah, I was always attracted to like boy things, right? Like even the smell of my deodorant. Like I would pick the more masculine smell over, the feminine smell. And so I really didn't know what it was. I actually did not come to terms with my sexuality until I was in college, believe it or not, even though I've been gay all my life. But I do remember praying when I was getting ready. I grew up Baptist, Black Baptist. So if you know anything about that, it's pretty tough when the pastor is preaching about, burning in hell because you're gay. So I came out and to the public. I'm still not open to my family. So I had a little bit different transition than everybody else. Like I always knew I was different. I never questioned why I was different. So it's a little bit different.
You've always kind of like accepted it. You're like, I'm drawn to more of like more masculine things, and that it is what it is.
Right.
You've accepted yourself.
That's great though that you were that like you accepted yourself that much that you're like, I don't care if this is what other people like. Like this is what I like. This is what I like. Right. And a lot of people don't have that. They try to conform to what other people.
But I do also ask myself, have I really accepted it? Because I haven't came out to like my immediate family, right? So that's still something that I have to work on and talk to them about. And I also think that's another reason why I'm so distant from my family.
To me,
first of all,
I know. I don't think that's a lack of acceptance. I think that's just you taking your precautions and knowing how they're going to react, and then you just guarding yourself, maintaining a relationship with your family.
Right.
I don't think that's a lack of acceptance. I just think you're just taking
lack of acceptance is you wearing a dress.
That's perfectly fine.
Right.
Well, first of all, it is very clear her family knows. She just has not openly admitted it, okay? And Shan will even say, have you seen me? Even though, just looking at somebody, I don't think you can tell.
I've never came out into my family and said, hey, I'm gay. It's my mom has always been, whoever you bring through that door is whoever you bring through that door. Just be true to yourself. I brought women home, guys home.
I never had a lady hug me so tight.
Yeah, no, she really likes you. But
yeah. No, I don't think, first of all, I think Shan's family all knows very clearly.
You probably have an inclination.
Yeah.
More than an inclination, okay?
I mean, but Black families are known to be kind of oblivious to it and just go about it.
Or in denial.
So.
Yeah.
Denial is not just a
So what I'd like to do is transition a little bit. I want to talk a little bit more about what your careers have been. So I would like to really start with your careers thus far, which is, Dani, on your side, you've embarked on this journey with massage therapy. Alyssia, on your side, you came into being a flight attendant. What that's all like, I'd love to know how you even get into those industries. And then, of course, I really would love to dive deep on the business that you've started, Wildflower Apothecary. But let's start with the... Yes, apothecary.
Apothecary. I'm going to do it before the end of the show, okay?
Apothecary.
Yes. But first, let's start with those careers because one of the points of our shows is to open the minds of all of our listeners to say, like, we don't have to follow the path of who's around us or who we see or whatever the case may be. It's about following your passion.
Or be afraid.
Yeah, you don't have to be afraid either. So, in any of these industries, you can be yourself. Not everybody's going to be accepting. That is the world that we live in. However, we can learn from each other and figure out what we need to do to be ourselves and be comfortable. So y'all choose who starts, but I'd love to start with the careers and then we'll dive into the business later.
You need a resume?
Yeah, seriously, because mine's really long.
Same.
Yeah.
No, just your, I want to know.
Yeah.
Your main careers right now.
Well, for Dani, embarking on the massage therapy journey, and Alyssia, the flight attendant, and then we'll go into the business after. But go ahead.
Okay. You want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. That's
All
fine.
right.
Feel free to cut me off
Okay.
anytime.
Long-winded.
Okay, so you guys comfortable? Okay. No, so after my divorce, I moved from Atlanta to Florida, and I did a few like side gigs, you know, here, there, a few side hustles, just making cash, whatever I could do, to stay busy, to keep my mind, keep my mind away from, the whole separation, but just keeping your mind busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was always interested in massage, just because of the entire like holistic approach, which I love, like, holistic remedies, just holistic wellness. Let's put it that way.
Love it.
So definitely helping people feel better, especially like with sports injuries, or repairing muscles, and just learning about human anatomy. So a little bit of science, a little bit of healing, all with the work of my hands. Why not? Let's get into it.
Right. Naturally.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, natural medicine. Yeah. So it's something I never knew what I wanted to do until I actually went and did it for the first time. Honestly.
And how did you come across it? And what did you need to do to become a massage therapist?
Yeah, so I was just walking around downtown in a small beach town that I lived in, and I saw a sign that said massage school, and I was like, oh, that's an idea. All right. All right, let's look into it, let's get it, So of course I started doing the research right away, and I enrolled in school the next month, and within 8 months I had to complete 750 course work hours. I had to do 150 hour of hands-on massages. So I had to give 150 massages to different people. And then I had to take a test that's nationally recognized. And then I had to go through the state of Florida to get my license. So yeah, I'm a licensed massage therapist right now in the state of Florida. California, I'm still waiting to be approved, but yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Background. Yeah.
So for the massage therapy, is it the same training no matter what state you're in, or is it something like it's custom to the state, and then if you go to another state, you just kind of, since you have the credentials from another state, you can apply for a different license?
Yeah, so each state is different. State minimums are different across the board. Florida, state minimum is 500. I was enrolled for 750, just so I could have the extra 250 for not necessarily a buffer, but to show that, hey, I actually have practice, like more than enough than what actually is recommended. So I actually know what I'm doing when I put my hands on you. I'd rather have the extra practice and know what I'm doing versus just, all right, thanks, gotta go.
Doing the bare minimum. I love that philosophy. I think that, being an expert in your craft is amazing, because anybody can enter any type of career field and do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Anyone can do that. But what sets you apart is when you are the best at what you do. I love the philosophy of doing everything in excellence. And I think that's what you did, going ahead and doing the additional courses. So a lot of people probably do the bare minimum. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, it really depends on
I wouldn't say bare minimum. I would say they meet the requirement.
Right.
And that's what I mean. Bare minimum meaning, okay, I could slide in here and do the test.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like with real estate.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. With real estate, we feel like that about real estate, about the insurance industry as well, where a lot of people get into the industry, and sometimes it's just not it's not on purpose, but you have to have the intent to want to be the best, to sit down and say, okay, in real estate, we're going to figure out what are all the loan programs that'll put our clients at the best advantage. We're not loan officers, but we're here with the client and we want what's best for them. Okay. What should we be looking out for when it comes to inspections? And, you know, we don't necessarily need to advise our clients on this, but we should be able to tell when there's a big red flag, or be able to recommend the best inspection companies there are that we are confident in their ability. You know, we can do so many more things to be the best at our craft. And that's what we aim to do. In the financial industry, we are always looking to educate our clients. We don't just get a policy together or roll over a retirement and just say, okay, well, we're done. We're like literally sitting down and saying, okay, what age are you planning on retiring? And are you on track for that? Well, to be on track for that, you actually need to be putting away this amount, or whatever the case may be.
Right. Sure. So it's funny that you say that, because that people, like you said, and you know, in real estate and financials, like, you strive to be the best, but in reality, you're only trying to be the best to help the other person.
Yeah.
Same thing with massage therapy. Like, you're only trying to be the best at your craft to help that other person heal. Because at the end of the day, my body's wore out because I'm pushing on you. I'm using my body weight on your body to help your muscles relax. Right? So I'm literally doing my best to help you.
Right. So I used to
at the end of the day, that's why I love doing massage therapy so much, because I'm giving you my best. So please take it and go do something good with it.
Right. I used to work at Massage Envy once upon a time, not as a massage therapist. I was just front desk and, you know, helping where I can. And I was surprised to know that a full-time week for massage therapists is 20 hours. Is that still the same? This was years ago, but a full-time week, there were massage therapists that did 40 hours because they want to make that cha-ching, and they love what they do too. Don't get me wrong. But full-time week was 20 hours because it's like hard labor. It's very laborious.
It's physical labor. It's exactly what it is. It's physical labor. So for the rest of my life, I've chosen a career path that I'm literally like using my body for. Is I don't get to sit behind a desk and make phone calls and, you know, go up this corporate ladder. Yeah, I can run my own business, but I still have to like get those clients initially and like use my body on them.
Right.
But also to be smart about it too. Eventually you want to be able to open your own practice and hire your own massage therapist. So you always want to grow when it comes to that.
You know, scale it when you're not using your own body, but with your own body, you can only do so much. So that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Very cool. Thank you, Dani. What about you, Alyssia? Tell us about flight attendant world. How'd you get into that? What do you need to do to become a flight attendant, and what's going on?
Well, it's COVID, so I'm not working.
Okay. So COVID has kind of frozen flight attendant world for you.
I'm not working right now, but I was working as a teller supervisor at like early 20s, which is a lot of responsibility for early 20s. And I had like a customer come in and tell me that they had an opening, and she was very dramatic about it. And I thought maybe she was just a little bit crazy, as everyone else did. But it just turns out it's extremely competitive to get into the field and become a flight attendant. So for my specific airline, it's like getting into Harvard. So I think the percentile rate is like 5% for acceptance. Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, you just go through a lot of different tests. They do like personality tests, of course, like regular testing, and then you'll have a video interview before they even think about sitting down and doing an actual group interview with you. And then you do a single interview, and then you get accepted to training. And if you do not pass training, you don't have a job. Our training was only about a month and change, but bigger airlines have it for about 2 months, and it's nonstop learning and evacuations and drills.
Yeah. So both of you entered into careers that do not require a college degree. Is that right?
That's correct. Mine requires like a trade school.
Okay.
So I had to complete the 750 at a trade school, basically.
Okay. What about you, Alyssia? You seem unsure about that. It's not
Well,
necessarily.
majority of airlines, they do require or request a degree, or at least proof that you went to college. I was pretty fortunate to know somebody who worked for the company.
Okay. And I think that's really important, because we talk about network a lot. And I think it's really important. I wish I learned that lesson a lot earlier. Of course, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But relationships are really important. So you relied heavily on that relationship you had with that customer who came into the bank and said, Alyssia, apply. You need to be a flight attendant. Is that right? Tell us about that process.
Becoming a flight attendant or her coming into the bank?
Like what the process was becoming a flight attendant and using that relationship to do so.
I think she did put in that she referred me, but my sister also worked for the company, so she put in a word for me as well. So I feel like double reference probably pushed my application to the top. But
Definitely had an advantage.
yeah, I mean, initially it's a lot of waiting. Like I think I applied and they might as well ask for my foot as far as I'm concerned, because they want everything. They want every single thing, because then at that point you're working for the FAA. So they require a lot, including your fingerprints, all background checks. And I mean, they even ask for, I don't know if I told you this, like grade school information. They ask for everything. They ask for your parents' information. Like, yeah, they ask for everything.
It's government. It's
Yeah,
government. You work
once-
for the government.
They want everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that would work for anybody who had any like previous
So-
issues, but it was just an extensive, it was about a month of them just asking for layers of information before.
It's like buying a house.
Basically. But instead of paying for it, now I get paid. So it's pretty good. Yeah. So that was the initial part of the application process. So, and then you eventually get accepted to start the online interviewing process. And then there's about four
Oh, wow.
different
So they do all of this before you even interview?
in person, yes. All of that before you interview.
Wow.
And then, yeah, it was about 25 pages long for you to submit your application. And then after you submit your application, they send you like, let's just say a survey with about 30 questions for personality. And if they're like, oh, we like your personality, now we're going to send you another 50 questions to see if you're smart at all. And then after that, you would do like a video interview. And then after the video interview, they had another short survey to make sure you're not blind and that you can actually assist people in emergencies, etc. And then you would move forward to a physical interview.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most companies do have some of those skills assessments, personality assessments, things like that, but they typically get that out of the way before an interview, not before, they get it out of the way before an interview, not in conjunction with background check, all that other stuff. There's a lot more steps. It seems like it's very competitive, like you said, to become a flight attendant. Were you gonna say something?
I know. For me, I'm new to flying. I've been flying for 2 years now. So I'm still amazed that people actually do that for a living, right? Because every time I get on a plane,
doing anything else, I'll tell you that. I feel like I belong up there.
yeah, every time I get on a plane, I'm like my nerves are bad. So I just always wonder, like,
There's a bag in the pocket. I know that.
I still don't know the instructions on how to blow up the inflatable. But anyway, that's another story.
She pays attention, though.
I do pay attention. I'm just like, if it really happens, would I be able to do that? But anyways,
You can always tell. I can always spot you from a mile away. One of these in the aisle. Like, you saw 13. Yeah, I saw 13. And then the planes start moving, and then ding. Everything okay? It's fine.
So if you're listening, Alyssa's saying that she can always spot the person who is paying attention to the emergency instructions when on the plane, and that person is the one who is in the aisle seat and peeking out into the aisle to see the flight attendant demonstrate.
or if they by the window, they're like,
Yep, sore thumb. Because usually they stick out like a sore thumb, and you could tell like they're in the aisle. They're so upset if the person in the window has it open because they don't even want to see.
I really enjoy that part because I'm just staring out and be like, I'm in the freaking clouds right now. But
Great that you have that mindset though, that you're amazed, in the sense of like you're not
until it starts shaking.
You're moderately fearful, but you're not overtaken with fear where you're like
Having a panic attack.
right. Yeah.
So for you, because you were so young, were you ever afraid? Did you ever think like, well, what the hell am I doing? Like, and this happened after 9/11. So yeah. So do you ever?
My whole life, like I said, my family's from Jamaica, so we did a lot of that. And then my dad would take us every single year. Well, me to Florida. One year we all met up with Shenice and her family. Like every single year, like once or twice a year, we were in Florida. So it never
It's like another day to you. Like,
like getting on the plane. Now I get paid for it, and I get to see other cities and do great things, great gay things, and get paid for it. Like
Alyssia is like the traveling pride goer. Like she goes to prides in all these different countries. I've been telling her she needs to document it. But she has, how many countries have you visited the pride for?
oh, I don't know.
Okay, let us know. We put that in the show notes.
At least over 12 at this point.
And that's a lot of countries, because I feel like I've been to, obviously, United States, obviously Jamaica, because I was born there, Mexico.
Cayman Islands.
Oh, Cayman Islands, because I was on a cruise, so I was there for a few hours. Yeah, I was on Cayman Islands for a few hours. I think that's it. Like, those are all the countries I've been to. I feel so not cultured. I need to travel. But you're here, and she'll do it by herself. Like, I can't even fathom. Like, I don't even think I've ever gone to see a movie. Well, I don't even think I've gone to see a movie by myself, much less travel across the globe by myself. So, you know.
I watched like, I'm really big on like murder mystery crimes and things like that. So my brain knows too much about too many different
She's
things.
suspicious of everybody.
Yes. So
I can only imagine it to be nothing less than like completely like liberating.
It is.
What?
In my opinion, I feel like people instill a lot of fear with
Traveling solo.
not even solo traveling, but I've never had a positive reaction, let's say from a family member or a very close friend when they ask me like, oh, it's always who are you going with? It's always that's the first question. Oh, who are you going with? And it's like, no, I'm going you're going by yourself. So
As if that means that you're lonely. But I think that's like,
I don't think
no, I'm saying that they interpret it.
it's safety, right? We always, I mean, I know here in America, we
Well, I
always
think that
talk
too.
take
to
people
like,
with you up the block to go to the mailbox. So why do you need to take someone with you to another country, as far as I'm concerned?
and
I mean, if you go to another state, let's say you wanted to go to Nashville, you've never been to Nashville, and you're like, man, I really want to go to Nashville.
yeah, but Nashville's not gonna.
Waffle, right?
I'm not gonna
Are
say
you gonna
that.
have to have somebody with you to go to Nashville?
Because it could happen in Nashville, but I mean, I know other.
It can happen anywhere, and that's the
Right,
point.
but-
And it takes
Outside your door.
right.
But you know, there's other country, like if they found out you were gay, they would literally stone you or put you in prison.
They can do that here.
You're fearful because you're gay, or are you fearful even if you were not gay?
Either
Like,
or.
Yeah, you would be fearful regardless.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lack of knowledge. I think it's media. It's also a lack of people like Alyssia, who like a lack of knowing what their experience is. Like the only experiences I can recall of seeing someone traveling to other countries by themselves is like somebody backpacking. Like that's what I think of, like somebody who's backpacking. And I don't
know.
and what I picture,
That's what I do when I go. I only bring one back.
I don't know, because I've known, I mean, there was a news reporter that went traveling by herself, and guess what? She's dead.
well, of course, but that's one person.
So,
But that's my point. You see what media does.
Thousands of people.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. This is what media does, is it amplifies a very small
So much
percentage.
but I know, and I get that. I know there's a small percentage, just like it's a small percentage that the plane will fall out the freaking sky. But there is that chance. And for me, I'm just afraid of that chance, because that 1% or, you know, whatever could be me. So I just.
Definitely. But what I want to focus.
If you have that same mentality, then go start playing the lottery, because it could be.
Oh, she plays.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't wait till the chance to call us. Like, guess what? It was
So, Alyssia, for all the people that are listening that have never traveled by themselves, who are completely scared of it, including us over here, because we've never done it. I mean, we've barely even traveled outside of the country, just us. I mean, all of our travel has been almost work connected or to see other people. We've never just gone and explored somewhere. So for anyone who even has the smallest inkling or interest in doing that, what would you say are like your tips, your preparation, what you would look for? Are there places you share whatever you want? I'm just telling you like the questions that are rolling off in my head. Like, are there like signs that, okay, I don't want to visit this place, or how do you stay safe?
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, well, first and foremost, let me start here. For people like Shan, who are very like reluctant to travel, especially by herself, I look at the world as a book. And if you don't travel, you're literally reading the same page consistently all the time. How do you grow? How do you grow if you stay in the same environment all the time? You don't.
And that's where our society is. Our society is reading the same page over and over again. As a society, we tend to be very closed-minded.
So literally repeating
it. And I hate the word closed-minded, because it's not that I'm closed-minded.
I'm not calling you. I'm saying in general, as a society, we know what we know, and it's sometimes very difficult for us to step outside of what we know.
Yeah,
and I think that's a reality for me.
You know this page in and out. You know the words from A to Z. You know every single word on this page, and you're comfortable knowing this page.
Right.
At this point, you're like, why do I need to turn the page? I know what this page is doing.
Right.
And at that point, you don't grow, as far as I'm concerned. And me staying inside the country and not leaving, I just felt like stagnant, especially because of the way our media is portrayed. Like, you don't really know what's going on in other countries. You have no idea. Yeah. And when people hear that I go to certain areas and do certain things, they're like dumbfounded, because they're like, well, I heard, and I'm like, well, I was there and it's better than here. Like, and they don't even believe it. They're just like, well, how are you doing that? Like, you know, especially as a person of color, that's the biggest question I get all the time. Like, one, you're a woman. Two, you're a person of color. Yeah. And you're gay, and you want to travel by yourself to another country. You don't feel like unsafe. And I'm like, well, no, because
the biggest threat is here.
It is, because I've felt so accepted in every other country. I've never had an issue in every, but honestly, I've never been to the Middle East. I have not been to the Middle East yet. I've heard that you have to be we couldn't even do that.
So do you do any research before you decide to visit a country? Like, for example, you have been visiting countries where you can go join in and celebrate Pride, which is obviously going to be a much more, that is the accepting community if you're worried about being gay in another country, right? So what type of research do you do before you go to any country? Or how do you choose where you want to go?
So, you know me, Shenice, I pick up a pen, I throw it down, and this is what I'm doing. Like, so I literally just decided I'm going to travel across Europe just based on the countries around the areas and the easiest way to get there. And I mean, capitalism is huge in the States, but it's also very big in other countries. So everyone has a pride parade at this point. And I feel like this is a great example to talk about, because I swear by Amsterdam Pride. It's my favorite pride. I've been there. It's on the water. There's boats. They literally shoot themselves and dance on the water. It's ridiculous. It's nothing I've like experienced in my life. They do block parties based on sexuality, music. They shut down the streets. It's amazing. I have a friend that lives out there, and she reached out to me recently and said that she's been having a lot of issues with people because she's in an interracial relationship, and they've been saying aggressive, homophobic things to her on the street, as well as let's just say picking on them.
Right.
And it's like, you gotta kind of, it's like a huge reminder that no matter where you go, there's gonna be pig-headed people.
And although they had your favorite pride, just a complete blowout, seemingly
it's literally a city built on, you can literally walk into the red light district as a woman and be like, I'm gonna have sex with this woman. And it's fine. It's not outlawed out there. There's no issues, and she's still having this problem. She lives there.
Right.
Yeah, and then I guess let me make something clear here too. For me, I wouldn't fear traveling to London or Paris or places like that, but I'm thinking more of, you know, third world countries and places like that people still travel to by themselves and things like that. Now, that would be a fear of mine.
But you see,
and also too, I mean, even some of our Central America, locations, Americans are not welcome. So I would say I'm just to me, I'm really heightened and aware of those type of situations in those countries that now I'm not saying I'm just afraid of traveling anywhere. I mean, if I do the research and I know they're accepting, I'm going to travel.
I think we just need to be more educated in a lot of these areas, because when we're speaking very generally about really large areas.
Yeah.
So like, for example, you just said Central America. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Central America. Central America is pretty big, isn't it? I'm not the greatest with geography, but it's pretty big. But I'm sure there are our people, our LGBTQ people in every area.
Yeah.
So there are going to be places within Central America, we just don't know what they are right now. We have very big generalizations of
all the Middle East.
We're at such an advantage, though, and this always goes back to our generation, because think about your mom, or even your mom, or your mom. Yeah. They couldn't go online and Google gay area bullies.
For real, yeah, we are empowered. Yeah,
like 100%. So I agree with you, where you should definitely take like any part of yourself that feels like, okay, well, I'm not really sure about this. Do your research. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't let it stop you.
Yeah, no.
And also, I'd like for you to talk a little bit about what you've done to reach other people. Like, how did you meet some of these people that you stay in contact with, that you've become good friends with, in other countries? What type of things have you done here from the States that can help you be a little bit more comfortable?
So for any woman who has Facebook, we have a group called Girls Love Travel that I'm in, and it's literally everyone across every single country you can think of that either has a passion and really wants to travel, which is hard in like Middle Eastern, let's just say, countries, or people from like Paris who travel all the time because they have like a cornucopia of countries around them. And they post like great places that you can visit, as well as like, hey, if you're ever in the area, like definitely let me know and I can show you around, as well as like inquiring on information from local people. So I'm in that group, as well as a Pride Girls Love Travel group, which is the gay version, which is the subcategory. And I'm in both, and anytime I go anywhere, I ask for recommendations. And if people live there, they usually reach out to me, honestly. Like, hey,
wow,
like,
that's amazing.
What are you doing? Like, I'd love to get a drink, or if you don't drink, like we can get coffee, or we can go on a hike, we can go for a walk. I can show you great areas. So I've made some really great friends from that group, honestly. And it's not like a momentary relationship. They've lasted. Like, I've made seriously great friends.
One of which is Leah, who was on episode 1 for us.
Yeah, it's my best friend. I'm actually her bridesmaid.
Yes. So we all met through that group.
Yeah, we met through Pride GLT. It was actually hilarious because we just started talking on Facebook because she would post things and I would post things, and we were both interested in the same thing. And she moved to Switzerland. And I would write her all the time, like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, how's Switzerland? Girl, it's great. And maybe not so great. Like, we would talk all the time. And I was doing like one of my 3-week trips, I think, fall, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And she's like, you can't be this close and not visit me. Mind you, we were only like internet friends at that point for like a year. She's like, girl, no, just come to my house. And I'm like, okay, book, see you next week. And I went and stayed with her for like a week and a half. And we've been super close ever since. Yeah.
I mean, she's amazing. Y'all are amazing. I think that just speaks true to, I want our community to know that just because you feel different doesn't mean that there aren't others out there that share, the same interests as you. Just because they're not necessarily right in front of you, they could be across the world, and that's okay. Like, find your space. It took you a Facebook group to meet some of your best friends. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. We got lucky that growing up in New York, we were never, the chances of us going to the same elementary school, middle school, we didn't go to the same high school, but the chances of us also staying in touch after we separated, going to different high schools and coming into adulthood, the chances are so slim. Like, we can't only depend on school and work for all of our relationships.
Yeah. Because a lot of my great friends, like in my life before I became a flight attendant, was my coworkers.
What about you, Dani?
Yeah, same. No matter where I lived, it was always just short-term friendships with whoever I'm working with.
Right.
You know,
I'm all about long-term relationships.
Yeah.
Like I'll be in the shower and think about somebody that I haven't talked to in like weeks.
This show is supported by Empower Financial, where we help you protect, grow, and build wealth through life insurance and retirement planning.
At a minimum, everyone, protect your family with at least 10 times your income in permanent life insurance. Have a safety net in case you become ill, or you can use the cash value in retirement as tax-free income. So reach out to us from our website at www.empowerfinanciallife.com or click the link in the show notes. All right, so tell us about Wildflower Apothecary. I know that, Dani, you've been embarking on the journey of massage therapy, and you have your license. You're loving what you're doing. And Alyssia, up until now, pre-COVID, you've been loving life as a flight attendant, traveling the world, going to all these prides, meeting all these great people, and now, as our world is almost at a standstill, you've had time to bring a dream to fruition. You've been able to start Wildflower Apothecary. So tell us about why. What inspired you to start Wildflower Apothecary, and what is your business? What does it all entail?
Well, for me, it's almost like I had a business without having a business, because I've always been very big on, and you can probably attest to this coming from like a Caribbean background, we try to do natural everything. Something hurts, drink some tea. So,
definitely.
Yep, my entire
Pure water.
Yep, anything. It's a tea for it. It's always something. It's never a drug or anything over the counter unless you're on your deathbed, and even then, you really need to take it. It's always a question. So my entire life, I've been doing natural products on my own, and it was just something I've always wanted to do. Then I started dating Dani, and here she comes telling me about how I used to do that. And I was like, no way. She's like, yeah, I had a company. It was called, you ready? Happy Hippie. And she used to make so.
That's your soul, huh?
That's it. That wraps up that is exactly what I wanted to be.
Hippie.
Yeah, I wanted to be, what would my soul be in 3 words or less?
Yeah.
A happy hippie.
Oh,
And
I
that's
love
just
it.
Yeah. So it first started because Dani saw, you know me, I'm very frugal. So I used my same mason jars for all my shea butter mixes that I was making for like body butters, and I would use it also for my hair because I have natural hair. And she saw it one day and she was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, it's just shea butter mixed in with 100 other things, but it's great, try it. And she was like, oh yeah, it's good. And we talked about it.
I remember like specifically asking you why it wasn't whipped. I was like, it's not whipped.
Yeah, and I was
Mine
like,
was whipped. You said, yours?
right.
You got so excited.
Like, yours? What are you talking about?
Right.
Because that's not something you usually connect with people on. Like, I've never had a conversation with anyone else who's seen me take out my mason jar about them having a whipped body butter or like any type of a shea butter based product that they would just pull out of their purse because they prefer natural products.
Right.
My thing is, I was just sick of going into stores and paying tons of money for a natural product, quote unquote natural product, that had fragrance, perfume, petroleum, chemicals. Like, it was
Stuff
just,
you can't even pronounce.
Right.
Honestly.
You have no
sit there and be
idea.
like, why is that word 16 letters long?
right, what is it?
Like, what is that?
And it will have like 3 natural ingredients, but in the States, all you need is a certain percentage of natural ingredients in order to say that your product is natural. Right. So I was just tired of sitting there and reading all the time. So I started making my own product. And then once me and Dani kind of figured out that it was something that like, she used to do and that I've always wanted to do, and we both had ideas. We kind of just
Collaborated at that point.
yeah.
Honestly.
Birth of Wildflower.
That's it.
Love it.
So I have a good question. Can I use that body butter on my hair?
Absolutely. We actually had someone reach out to us and request a lot of information in regards to how they could use it in their hair and what they could do with it. They personally ordered the sweet orange one, and they wanted to use it as like a curl cream. Yeah. And I used to use mine that wasn't whipped as a curl cream. So I've actually been using it in my hair, the lavender one, to see like how it feels. And it's just so much moisture. It's great. Yeah. It's really good.
So are y'all gonna start a line for her when she starts her massage therapy to use as
in the clinic?
Yeah.
We already talked about it. We have like a couple exciting ideas because I like to take raw products and infuse them in our oils. And I was telling her that it'd be great if she used it on her clients because, I mean, have you guys gotten massages before? The first thing they do is ask you to pick your oil. Yeah. So imagine like you get a massage with this great oil, and normally if you really like something, the first thing that you do is go and look at what product it says. But how excited would you be if it was 100% natural and it was local? Right.
Yeah, 100%. I've never had the experience that I get to pick my own oil. Usually the massage therapist. Well, when I worked at Massage Envy, the therapist picked their preference of oil. It probably depended on how they glided and how they like to massage. So they never gave us the option. I'm sure that the therapist, if we had the option, we could choose. Like, for example, they had straight up oil, or they had creams, or, you know, there are different ones that they can choose.
Tells me all the time, cream is really good for deep tissue. Yeah. So if you need to get your muscle worked on, you need like a cream or a
and it could depend on the method, right? So just like you're saying, however, even though we didn't necessarily, like the client didn't pick which one we wanted, unless there was an upgrade that you could ask for.
Therapy upgrade.
Yes. So you could get an upgrade where they put essential oils inside of, you wouldn't put it in the oil. It had to go into the lotion. So it would have to be lotion if they got an upgrade. And they would put one of the essential oil blends that they had. I think at the time there were like 4 different blends, and there was like aches and pains, and there was, one that was, there are different ones. And so even though you don't necessarily, the client, from my experience, didn't pick their own oil or butter or whatever the case may be, the clinic sold the lotion or oils and things like that separately. So if they wanted to take it home and use it, they could. Now, how much better would that be if it was 100% natural? I would love that.
Organic.
And organic. Yes, exactly.
And Alyssia and Dani.
I do have some good news, because I really like Leah product on my hair, but I have really good dry back and it's always itching, and I know Shenice get tired of me asking for her to itch my back, but I must say I just started using your body butter, or she did it one night because she got tired of scratching my back, I guess.
Well, every time she asked me to scratch her back, because I typically have nails, so she's just like, and I scratch her back. I'm just like,
my back is great. She gets all the corners.
Oh my God. And so
she never wants to do my back. So.
I never do. And I'm just, because I'm always like, do you moisturize your back?
Okay, I'm very tight muscle, so Dani, I might need a massage.
I told her there's a solution to everything. I tell her you need to slather something on a rag and go like this. Just put it behind your back like a towel and rub or something.
I would think, my girlfriend would love to like rub lotion on my back. But anyways, she did use your.
That should be a thing.
I told her to use the lotion, but she never listens to me. So
I don't listen. I got the body butter. I said, let me get some of Alyssa's. I didn't even tell her. I was just like, okay, you want me to scrub your back? Okay, you want me to scratch your back?
No, and then what happened like that? But I must say, like, I haven't really felt any, itchy feeling since she's used it. So
Wow.
I've only used it twice, right?
Yeah,
It's been
you
twice.
might be onto something. So
Okay. Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, we'd love to hear
Yeah,
that.
thank
It's
you.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Back
it's yeah, it's the sweet orange one, and I literally took a tip. Like I use, because I have nails, I don't like for stuff to get stuck underneath my nails. So when I go into the jar, I like flick upwards just a little bit, and I take like half a dime, maybe even less, and that is enough to kind of spread it on almost her entire back. Like it's not, a little goes a long way.
And I haven't asked her all day to scratch my back, and I haven't had the feeling. And I've showered since she's used it, but I don't feel as dry.
But I've used it twice. I didn't use it in the same night. I don't
Right,
think.
right.
So at the end of the day, like we didn't even talk about this. This is new information for me. So I didn't even know.
I was thinking about it. I was like, my sister Shenice used their body butter. I haven't really felt it.
Hold on, wait a minute. No itch. No itch.
All right.
Yeah, that's because you don't dilute the products. You get. I always tell people a little bit goes such a long way, because I see people, they're used to like water-based products, and they want to take a full scoop. That scoop is gonna last you 3 people.
Right.
Full body 3 people, because you don't dilute anything. So you get the full benefits of the product.
And I do. So I'm going to try it on my hair, and I combined your body butter with Leah's oil and see how it does, because I know for me, when I do buy the store-bought products, shea butter is probably only like 15% of shea butter in there. And so you're not really getting that full moisture that you want, because they're trying to save money. And so I'm going to get back to y'all guys.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have body butter. What else does Wildflower Apothecary carry?
So right now we have amazing soaps.
Yeah.
Our favorite, honestly, they're all our favorite, but we recommend the lavender line for everybody because it's full body relaxation on the bar. We also have the lavender body butter. We do bath soaks, bath bombs.
Those bath soaps.
The bath soaks smell amazing.
So good.
You know what it is? It's the love.
It is the love. But you literally open it and smell it, and it's like you're already in the bath. Or you're just using the water. Like that.
And I will say the bath soak is perfect for something more romantic. Like if you're looking for something for your partner, if you want to draw them a bath, because they put actual, is it rose petals and
yeah,
what
we have rose petals, calendula. We have, those are all fresh. We have fresh lavender. We do Epsom salt as well as Himalayan salt, which is like very good for detoxing.
Very therapeutic.
And then we have all great essential oils in there.
Right. Yeah. And
So I really love that touch of the petals, the actual like from our earth that you put into the bath soap.
Don't get me wrong, like I love my partner, but what about self-care? Like that's all about self-care. You pour that in there and that's a full unite. All you need is a glass of wine.
That's how you feel like
That's such a good point, because I would do that for me. That's a good point. Definitely. I need more.
That's what we post about all the time. Self-care, self-love is so important.
Yep.
So
Definitely. So what's coming up for Wildflower Apothecary? And tell us, how do people like purchase your products? What are you doing? Is it just local? Is it online? What are y'all doing?
So did you know that we are in the last week of August
already?
Did you know that?
Yes, it's the last week of August.
Did you
You
know?
know what that means, though, right?
That means it's fall.
It is officially fall.
It's fall in our house.
September 22nd doesn't exist.
No.
It's September 1st.
Yep. Now it is fall now.
It is fall.
Well, according to all stores, I'm sure it's already fall and Halloween and Christmas maybe. So, okay.
They have the
Whoa. Let's get through Halloween first. Have respect.
They have pumpkin spice, everything now.
That's right. So you got pumpkin spice Wildflower Apothecary coming your way.
Yeah.
We started our cinnamon cocoa blend soap. It's literally a hot chocolate bar. It's amazing. We also have our Cocoa Magnus body butter, which is coming back. That sold out so quickly. I don't even think you guys got to try it.
No, we did not.
So okay. Don't be upset. It's coming back. It's all right. It's on the way. But yeah, you could.
It's literally heaven in a jar, though.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's what everyone
The
says.
cocoa madness with body butter is heaven in a jar.
So, you know, Danny's a past life for kids. They were there when we were making one of our first batches, and they kept smelling it like, can we eat this?
So you gotta make sure you have do not eat on the
labels.
labels.
It looks so good. If you follow them on Instagram, oh my gosh, it looks edible. Like, oh my gosh, it's just. I just want to
like as good as it smells.
It's so hard. It smells so good. And the scent lingers forever. It really does.
But we're on Etsy. We have Instagram, like Shenice said, and we have Facebook as well. That's about it. You can purchase our products on Etsy. If you're in the San Diego area, we do local drop-offs for free. So
It's COVID friendly.
COVID-friendly drop-offs.
Have y'all tried the marketplace?
Say that again.
Have y'all tried selling on marketplace? You know they have a whole thing where you can.
On Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, we've considered it. We haven't ventured into that yet. We've been trying to prepare for the local markets coming up. But that would be next, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we do everything small batch. So we try to keep it in one area.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to come to Texas Farmers Market because there's no other place like a Texas Farmers Market. I don't know what y'all talking about in California. Where are the farms in California?
No other market like
Well,
a Texas Farmers Market.
Well, they do say everything's bigger in Texas. I've never been to Texas.
But the oldest and the biggest farmers market in the U.S. is actually a couple blocks from our house in Hillcrest. Please come back and visit anytime.
Well, you know, I will say I don't think I've ever been to a farmer's market in Texas, and I've been here for like 6 years. So
Oh, you guys need to go out. Support
Yeah.
local business.
I
I
grew
do.
up on a farm, so I try to run far away from things like that.
Yeah, no. Support local business.
Well, I support local business through networking and relationships. That's how I guess I support. But I do need to get out there. COVID is not helping this, but we need to get over this hump so I can get out there and like actually experience life, you know? So there are a lot of, I think we're shifting. Society is shifting, and they are shifting more towards natural, organic, you know, products. We're getting back to our roots. So there are a lot of companies that are popping up that are doing things like this. You know, they're doing more natural, vegan, organic, or some type of product like this. So what sets Wildflower Apothecary apart from the rest?
Apothecary.
This is another one of my favorite stories.
Go ahead.
It's a little bit over PG. I'm going to say 13, 16. PG. Ooh.
That's a good one. All right.
So like I said, I hate sitting there and looking at the back of a product. Shan might be able to attest to this. I don't know what you use in your hair, but I personally don't use silicones. I don't use sulfates. I don't use a lot of things in my hair.
The alcohol.
So,
Like, that's it.
no, use all of that. We'll talk about it.
No, she's
No,
saying
no.
she doesn't.
Like I would not buy a shampoo or conditioner that has alcohol in it.
So a lot of these things that say sulfate free, silicone free, you look on the back and they have 3 silicones under a different thing, and they put PEG on there. And because it's water soluble, they can market it as silicone free.
So they basically build their companies on loopholes almost.
Exactly.
Right, which is very big in our country. So sick of it, so tired. So a big thing for me was I hate looking at a product and saying like, mango, wow, mango. It doesn't smell like mango, it kind of smells like perfume.
Chemicals.
Right, because 90% of the time, anything mango based, even if it says it has mango extract, they get that full scent from a fragrance, which is a chemical. So I'm very diligent with looking on the back if I am going to purchase anything.
Anything, everything.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yo, froze.
Yeah, so if you go into any store and you pick up anything that has like natural, like let's say mango on it, and it says made with mango extract, 90% of the time, if you smell it, it won't smell like mango. And that's because they're getting the mango scent from fragrance or perfume, which is called parfum. Can't even call it perfume, it's parfum. Anyways,
It sounds fancy.
it's not.
Okay.
So one day Dani was at the house before she officially moved in, and I tried a new, very vegan brand, very vegan. They claim to be chemical free. They call themselves Raw. And I did my due diligence. I looked at everything like I always do, but I missed something clearly because there was a shower happening and Dani started to break out in hives.
Oh, wow.
That was how we found out that there was fragrance in the Raw natural vegan product.
Wow.
So she didn't use the product. It was literally just the scent of the product. And it's because it's a chemical. So imagine like.
So it like what, lingered in the air?
Just the scent of it and it being like in the air, she broke out in hives. And there's a lot of people that can't withstand that type of chemical. You shouldn't have to withstand that type of chemical.
Right.
So.
Why?
Because of that,
Why should I have to go through that just so somebody can smell like a mango?
Right.
Why do you want to smell like a mango anyway? Like, calm yourself
She used to
down.
have issues dating with people who would wear perfume.
I would break out in hives every time.
Go on first date in hives.
Gotta go.
Well, I'm sorry. I love my cologne, so.
Yeah, no, I can't wear any type of like perfume, fragrance, colognes, anything. Even like the more expensive ones. I can't even wear those because I will literally break out in hives.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are like that. Like they can't withstand that chemical. But I think because of marketing, like they have created a way where they want you to feel like, oh, this is a natural product. But because I can't get the scent from this natural product, I'm gonna just put this chemical in here so you feel like you're having it. And we're so accustomed to that, like that's what people look forward to. But if you go somewhere in like the UK, people are getting their scents from essential oils and natural extracts and stuff like that. And you can get that type of scent. Trust me, it won't smell as strong because it's not a chemical, but you get all the full benefits from it without having to damage your skin long term, because that's what chemicals are doing. Anything with fragrance or perfume is literally just putting more chemicals on your skin. It's just damaging it. So that's how we ended up making a lot of our scents.
And it's probably a money-saving tactic, huh? Because I'm assuming if you go the more natural, organic way, it costs more. And companies want their bottom line to, be as minimal as possible.
Yeah.
So
it's just shea butter and put 1% and everything else be a chemical, and they pay $1 and you pay 40.
Right. And so you have to play a balance. I mean, as human beings, we need to say, what is more important? Is it the dollar or our well-being or the, content of the products that we're using? I think, and that's what I'm saying, I think society is truly shifting because we are paying more attention. It could be also a little bit of ignorance, or not necessarily ignorance, just not being educated about these things.
Because when did you start looking on the back? You didn't, no one would even think to look on the back of a label. There's a lot of soap companies that don't even put their ingredients on there. You have no idea what's in this product, but you're like, I'm trusting you in putting it on my body, even though I have zero idea.
And it's just when I started learning more about, we started, I think last year, watching documentaries about our food and, different products out there. I didn't even really realize that there are so many fruits and vegetables outside of what they put in a supermarket. That is, and we're so weirded out by it as a society. We're like, what's that? That avocado is not normal. Why is it this big or something? But that's okay. That's normal. There are so many different breeds, just like with animals. With animals, there are all these different mixtures and breeds and different types of, and some new ones come up,
Same thing with so a perfect example, we were watching Zac Efron's sustainability documentary. I recommend that to everyone to watch. It's great. And he was somewhere, was it Central America? Which episode?
Because he was in Costa Rica?
I think it was Costa Rica, which is Central America.
Yeah, right.
And
I was thinking about the Switzerland episode. Switzerland episode got me. I was
really
like,
good.
oh, wow.
The water.
Yeah.
Off track. So
Sorry. Watch it. It's good.
he was in their wilderness, which was their farm, and they go and they're like cutting down trees just for this one bunch of bananas. And that alone shows you like how much goes into you buying 6 bananas, which I thought was huge. And then the next tree, they were chopping down a fruit, which in Jamaica we know as breadfruit. But it was not a breadfruit. And when they opened it, it looked almost like a mango with pulps in it, similar to jackfruit, but not jackfruit because they chopped that down next, which was about this big. But they're all in the same family, even though they have completely different textures,
Right.
completely different tastes.
Right.
But because you're in different agricultural areas, you're going to get similar fruit, same breed, different tastes.
Right.
Yeah, I will say that I did make a little bit of an effort. So out here in Texas, we have HEB, and they do try to lean a lot on local farmers, local products, and sometimes they have different stuff in there. And I got different stuff. Like I got a yellow watermelon. I got
No,
it's what?
popular yellow watermelon.
Oh, is it? I've never even heard of it before.
But
What is
recently
it?
I've been seeing
What
it.
is it?
I heard it's a not fully ripened watermelon.
Oh.
That's what
I don't know. You open the watermelon and
Yellow.
it's yellow.
Yeah.
No way.
Is it
Yeah.
No, because I've never tried it.
And well, the one I had, I don't think I know how to pick a watermelon very well. So the one I had wasn't really, really sweet, but it had
The yellows are not supposed to be sweet. It's almost like imagine a yellow
The
sweet
rind?
plantain and a regular green plantain. It's the same fruit, but one is not fully ripe and one is fully ripe.
it's
So
the
I think
same
a yellow
texture.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's just not a fully ripe watermelon.
Well, you know, well, we just learned this. Pineapples is actually a bunch of fruits that actually got together to perform that.
A hybrid fruit? No way.
No. It's just a bunch of fruits and one as a pineapple.
Like everything, just like you can pull off. What she's saying is that the way a pineapple is formed, it's like it's not just necessarily one fruit. It's every single little piece of it is a fruit. Like it.
Yes, I didn't know that.
So we're learning. Right, and we're learning. And I bought some what are they called? Like grape plums or something like. I bought a bunch of different fruits, and with the kids this summer, I was just like, let's try them. Like, why are we so closed-minded when it comes to our food? Because again, we know what we know, and then we don't necessarily step outside of the box and try something different. So I bought a bunch of fruits, and I was like, let's try them. Like,
But
who
also
cares?
too, I don't
You
think
know what's
America is
crazy?
very there are not a lot of different fruits that grow here.
Well, but they import them.
right.
They import the fruits, so they have control over what goes into our supermarkets, and they keep it the same old. Like there aren't even different breeds of.
That's why we're so reluctant to try new fruits versus like, oh, Kraft came out with a new mac and cheese. Let's try that one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
all
it's
behind
different.
the capitalist marketing.
Yeah, we should be like the processed food. The processed food industry is always introducing new things, flavors, and like. But when it comes,
I would never understand why something that's natural and you can grow for free is more expensive than the chemicals that they produce.
So that goes back to processing. So imagine like Peter pays Paul. They're paying exactly. They're gonna pay someone to do it, and the person that they're paying, I promise you, is not mistaken.
No, I understand, but
It's cheap.
why are the now? Oh, so you're saying it's
Well,
cheap
remember,
to do mass?
it's cheap to do mass production. With a farmer,
Why they
they're
started
putting blood, sweat, and tears and labor into
Okay.
fruit, right? They have to pay their bills too. So a
But
farmer,
what about water? And you go buy a bottle of water the same size of a.
but you have to pay for the plastic. You have to pay for the filtration for the water, the extracting of the water. There's a lot.
Same thing.
The water is full capitalism. Again, back to the Zac Efron
That goes to the
documentary.
Switzerland episode, the
Yeah.
water one.
Yep. Apparently, 90% of our purified water out here is tap.
It's
Yeah.
boiled water. Boiled tap water
Yep.
is purified water.
Yep. So it's all back to capitalism in that brand. And that brand knows what they can put on that label to get someone to buy it. So if I put that it's pH 8.5,
Take my $3.
yep,
Here you go.
high pH water, I'm with that. It's good for me. versus like $1 Poland Spring, which is like local New York tap water.
Oh, I hate Poland spring water. But to that point, I learned that whenever alkaline water became big in marketing, right? Marketing alkaline water, which is great, right? It's great to have alkaline water. Then I later learned that alkaline water is basically the same as spring water. Like it has the same pH.
It is. Okay, so spring water is, let's just say, the natural form of what an alkaline water would be. So if you got New York water and it's at 7.5, you have to add electrolytes into it in order for it to achieve that, let's just say, chemical reaction to get to that
Alkaline state.
Right. So spring water has that naturally. So you don't need to add anything because it already has those minerals.
And it's cheaper.
Water. Right.
Probably doesn't taste as good as all the alkaline brands.
Some people love it. Some people love
Essentia.
Not a fan.
I'm really liking Essentia water.
That's my favorite water.
Same.
They recently added a chemical that I'm not happy about, so I purified my own water.
So anyways, back to Wildflower Apothecary. That's the big difference. You want to be truly organic, truly 100% natural.
And at an affordable price. I think it's ridiculous for you to pay $40 for a 2-ounce jar of something that's 100% natural.
Yeah.
Like Shan said, why should I be paying so much more for something just because it's 100% from the earth and it's natural?
Right. 100%. Okay, that's great. Well, we've been using your products. We love your products. We can't wait to try more. Can't wait for what fall brings, and hopefully we can get our hands on some before it gets sold out.
So many things. So many things.
Yeah, we love fall.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in San Diego, I realize there is no fall.
We should be added to the VIP list. Okay, so.
Oh yeah, we have soft releases and we're doing pre-sales. We'll be sure to. No.
No, VIP. No.
So
Priority.
the first batch, it automatically gets sold to us.
Oh. All right. We'll put your card on file. We'll talk about it.
We'll go over the
We'll reach out to Shan after this.
Yes.
Now, are you all out in your business?
100%.
In Wildflower?
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure on if, well, I don't know what our Instagram followers think or know,
Oh,
but that's something that we've never hidden.
no, it's true.
Yeah. But I personally haven't put my face on the page yet. I haven't done an about me on the page
Not yet.
or an about us. Yeah.
Not yet.
We're still trying to figure out how we want to
I think we're figuring out which picture we want to use first.
have
And
a
then
lot
we're
of
gonna
them.
go through with it.
Probably one from Mexico.
Me. That was,
But y'all are definitely out in your personal life.
150%.
yeah.
150%.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever tried to hide like who we are, even as a couple or like us as individuals. You know. Yeah.
Nope. It's not a part
So y'all are out. Was there a point that you feel like you came out to the world, or not really? Do you have a story like that, or
Like together or
no?
Well, I would like to
individual.
know together, like as far as, I mean, not only that you're interracial couple.
You're
So,
interracial? Oh, Dani is Mexican.
Interracial. Interracial.
even though
Isn't that interracial?
It was a joke.
did I say interracial?
You did say
I said interracial.
Someone said interracial.
But I mean, I don't know, because y'all define when I say black differently than, what I've known, since I'm American.
Hey.
So to me, when I see you, I'm gonna say a black female. So, right. So
yeah.
Here's the thing. I think right now, the way society is moving, we're trying to put the power back in the word black because it's been perceived as negative for so long.
Yeah.
and what?
In the word black.
Yeah, a lot of I think that's what's happening right now. People are trying to put the power back in the word black. Like I see a lot of articles saying black is not a bad word.
Hold on, wait. It's not even about back into the word black because it was never in power.
Right.
So I think now it's starting to become like, hey, look, we truly are like
This is
all
who we are.
equals.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Right.
I
So think
personally use
it's
brown.
about moving, right? It's about moving that word or having that force behind that word of like black, like behind that entire equality movement.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But
it's
see,
kind
y'all
of-
only know black and white. For me, I know black, brown, and white. That's typically what category, whether if you're brown, you're typically Hispanic culture, or maybe Indian, or depending on Asian,
Right.
what color you are. And then, so I don't know. I've always known black, brown, and
Black background. So like, of course, you're going to be raised differently than Shenice and I were, coming from me, a mixed background. Shenice, like Jamaican. And then like Dani, of course, her mixed background because she's half Hispanic and half white. So
but when I
all-
see Dani, I don't see Hispanic.
because her mom is white
Right.
and her
So,
dad
okay,
is
so-
Hispanic.
all right, Shan. So if you saw my name on paper, you would assume that I'm Hispanic.
That's
Right.
Because my last name is Martinez.
Right.
When you were going to meet me, you'd be taken aback, like, "Whoa, she's
Right.
white?"
Yeah.
No.
Well, maybe not me, because I was a teacher.
No. But I mean, just like a regular, everyday.
But I think that's
Anyone. It could be
the issue
anyone.
is. I think like everyone's taking the time to figure out what box do you fit in.
right.
That shouldn't matter. And I
Right.
think that's why I was always very reluctant to use the word black, because to me, I'm like, they're not black. Black is a color. Black is a very dark color, and no one here is black. To me, every person of color is brown.
The color of my shirt is black.
Right.
Alyssa
Like,
is not black.
right. So for me, I never took to the word black until recently, where I feel like I said, like, people are trying to put the power back in the word.
Right.
But people,
Yeah,
again, like,
like,
I think it's wrong that
it's
people
so
would look at you and be like,
Yeah.
well, you can't be a person of color because you look white.
Right. And that's so strange to me because like even as like experiencing that, my entire life was like, especially like growing up in like an predominantly Hispanic neighborhood.
Yeah, like her
Very-
grandma doesn't even speak English.
Right.
She's technically first born American. Like,
right.
I'm the first like successful American as far as I'm concerned
Yeah,
in my
sure.
family. So you're technically an immigrant. You're
Right.
like born from an immigrant.
Right. Absolutely.
But people look at you and they're like, American and white.
right. You were born in Florida, you're white.
Yeah.
You're red hair, you got freckles, you're pale. You're
Well,
white.
I mean, again, and I'm not trying to go back and forth with this, but if that was the case, you say because she has Hispanic that she's born from an immigrant. I'm born from an immigrant, so I feel like everybody that's over here is born in unless you're Native American, which I have Native American in me.
Well, she's saying first generation. Are you
Right.
saying first generation?
On her father's side, she's first generation American.
Yeah, my father was not born here.
She's first generation American on her father's side. Her
And
mother,
my daughter is first generation American, born in America, because I was born in Jamaica. So I think that's what she's saying. We're not disputing the
So
fact
people
that
look
we
at
all
her
have
and
roots
she's
that don't
like,
stem from here.
right, she's American, but she's not, which is why I'm
Right.
very like reluctant to the whole, well, what box do you fit in? Because
Right.
how much of us in America are mixed with something? Remember Ancestry 23 came out and everyone was like, wow, I'm Irish. Wow, like it just shows, like,
Right.
again, let's not go into the story.
But no, it shouldn't go to that. But my whole thing is like, why is there even a box there to begin
Right,
with? Like, why should I have to fit into a certain box for you?
right.
So I can get an education, or if I can get benefits from the state, or if I can get
Right.
federal funding. Like,
Right.
why? Why do I have to fit into a box for you?
Like,
so
you
you
need
can
to
categorize me for
explain your existence.
Well, I think at the end of the day, what we need to be moving towards is we are all human beings. That's it. Point
There
blank.
is no
period.
race, only the human race.
We are, yes,
After
we
that,
are the human race.
was that
That's
Red Table Talk, and I was like, oh, preach. That was
That's it.
amazing.
That's it.
There is
Yep.
only the human race.
Yep.
Right.
My race is human. That's why I don't care what you call me as long as you respect me.
Right. The respect part is so important. Right. 100%. We are the human race. Of course, there are going to be people with certain features that have been abused, mistreated. That is definitely the case. But how we move forward is hopefully we can make progress as us you know, we're all human. That's the point. It's not even, you know, like we're saying, you know, putting that power back into Black. It's like Dani was saying, it's like we're all equal. We're all just human. So what we're trying to get to is, you know, just because we are darker as individuals with darker skin and whose roots might come from Africa or wherever they come from, doesn't mean that we deserve less than someone whose roots are from Europe.
The pigment of our skin is just the same thing as our hair texture. Your
We
hair
all
texture
bleed the
is
same.
Mine. Why should I discriminate you because your hair texture is different? That's ridiculous.
Right.
100%.
Completely ridiculous.
100%. So we all bleed the same. That at the end of the day, we're the human race. So I think that's how we need to move forward as a society. Like no matter what, we're supporting each other. Me personally, I do like to support a lot more Black and LGBTQ owned businesses. I'm not trying to discriminate. I'm just trying to uplift the groups of people who have been deteriorated over time and who are still, they're still oppressed. Yes, exactly. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that we all need to move forward and support. Like if someone who is white comes forward and they're a great person and I feel the good energy, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be there to support them just because they're not in that group or demographic or whatever the case may be. But I make that personal choice to support more businesses that are of those more oppressed demographics or quality, whatever the case may be.
Right.
But hopefully we can get to a point where we don't even have to do that. We're just all supporting each other.
Right.
Period.
Well, that's kind of how we live our everyday life. Like, absolutely. We kind of just walk around like it's normal because it is normal. Like, we shouldn't have to be looked at sideways just because she up here, even if she was a person of color, you know, and we're gay. It's like either way you get a look just because it's not the norm and it is normal. So we don't really feel the need to classify anything. Yeah, we definitely don't hide.
Subcategories, like hidden agendas, like hidden.
Right. No, we just try to be true to ourselves 100% of the time, all the time. But circling back to coming out, Dani's actually the only other person that I've ever met or dated that has a similar coming out story that I do. Like, I never really came out. I was just always.
You never really came out?
No, because I was always who I was. I was always true to myself 100%. So I never felt the need to be like, hey, I'm gay, because it was always just like, hey, auntie, I like Jade. And there was never like pushback. So it's like I never felt the need to come out because it felt normal to me. Like this was how it was. And I know Dani told me she always felt the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Whoever, like I said earlier, like whoever I brought through that door, like my mom was like, oh, hi, and hugged her neck just the same. Yeah. Like nothing has ever
Well, that's an amazing, like, supportive environment that you had, Dani. So
my mother's side, yeah. Let's play right. From my mother's side, yeah. From my biological father's standpoint, not so much.
Yeah,
but,
same with me. Yeah, so my dad's side was fine. Well, my mom's side was fine too. It's just my mother that was too cute. Right? So.
yeah. Okay. Well, what about you two? How did y'all meet? I'd love to get to know your relationship more.
We have a typical gay meet story.
Well, not in
yes,
recent
we do.
times.
We met at Pride.
Not in recent times. Okay. In recent times, now it's like, oh, we met on her or we met on Tinder.
That's true.
We
Everyone's
did not
meeting
meet online, in which I'm so proud of. Like, I love those people that I met her in person and then grew a relationship along. Like,
yes, you weren't catfish.
Nope, I was. Wow.
Yeah, we met at Orlando Pride through a mutual friend. So.
And?
Dani was in a throuple at the time, and I was in a situationship. I actually saw her, and
listen. We can tell the story later. But I saw this lady, and I stayed. I canceled the rest of my plans for the night. I said, we're staying wherever she is.
Which is hilarious, because when I saw her, she was kissing one girl, and then the next minute she was kissing another. So I was like, oh.
But I still found time to flirt with her.
Yeah,
so
she did.
I did.
She did.
I really wanted to. I did.
So, Dani, how was it being in a throuple? What is that like? I have never met anyone who has been in a throuple. So, and how does that work? I don't know, Alyssia, I'd love to know after you tell us, Dani, you tell us about this throuple thing. How do you feel about, seeing her kiss one girl and another, and now y'all are together, and are y'all monogamous? So go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Right. So being in a throuple was interesting, to say the least. There was a lot of drama
Even
within the
at
couple.
Pride.
Right. So there was a lot of drama within the couple. They were, long story short, I met them on Tinder. I was their third. They were unhappy. They were trying to clear some stuff up in their relationship. They thought bringing another person in, specifically another female in, they were a lesbian couple, bringing another female in would solve their problems and everything would be great. I was single and recently divorced at the time. So of course I was having my fun. And so being in a throuple didn't bother me. Of course I made it clear to them that, hey, look, since you guys are together, it's unfair for me to commit to you guys.
More like I was tied down for 7 years. I'm not trying to be tied down to your mess.
Basically, I'm still gonna do whatever I want. So if you find me flirting, see me, matched up with anybody else, mind your business because I'm doing me.
Yeah, they were okay with that.
And they were completely respectful of that,
okay
honestly.
As long as y'all are really clear, I mean, what
yeah,
does it
no,
matter? Y'all create your own rules.
Throuple. My only throuple. Sorry, my only throuple, and yeah, just I was very clear on the terms. They were very understanding, very accepting, and just said, as long as you don't bring them into our house, right? With you, we're fine. And I was like, great, no problem. I get to do whatever I want to do. So we were at Pride, and I met up with an old friend who, a person, sure.
Condemn.
You sure? Because that's the whole story.
Condemn.
Okay, all right. For time's sake, we'll condemn. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, met up with an old friend at Pride.
I feel out the episode 2 with us already. People gonna want to know what that
I know.
story
Yeah,
was so
that's the
bad.
whole story. Anyway, met up with an old friend at Pride. She had another friend joining.
Yeah, so her friend was one of my really good friends. And it was one of my really good friends' birthday. And she told me from like months before, because with me, if you need me to travel anywhere, I need a lot of advance because I travel a lot. So she was like, be in America, we're going to Orlando Pride for my birthday. And I was like, okay, what do I wear? I'm not prepared. It's fine. Like, anyways, so her friends, my friends were actually childhood best friends. They knew each other from grade school.
Right. So before Alyssia and her friend showed up, we were standing waiting for the parade. I had drink tickets to go back into the park to like spend the rest to get drunk, basically. I didn't even eat that day because I wanted to get that drunk because I knew what I had to go back. I knew what I had to go back home to. And the drama between those two that I was with wasn't worth the sober. Anyway. So, I see Alyssia and her friend come up and they, everybody kind of like introduces themselves, whatever. Yeah, no, I laid eyes on Alyssia and I was like, we're staying. We're not going back into the park. We're staying right here. And they were like, okay. Like, just great. They were totally with it. And then she offered me a sandwich and I fell in love like 3 months later.
Oh, all with a sandwich.
All with the sandwich. That's all it took.
Well, she's not telling the full story because
that's not the full story.
I was like starving, and anyone can attest to me getting hangry. And when we got there, I was like, "Hi, everybody! I need to go inside Publix right now." So I left to go get a sandwich, and I also came back with beer. But apparently, when I left, Dani freaked out
Where'd she go? She left?
I did. I was so upset that she was gone. I didn't even get her name. I was like, how am I supposed to know who this person was? She was gorgeous.
So she had a
I
hard
was really
attack.
upset.
And then I came back with a sandwich, and she was literally intensely watching me eat this sandwich to the point where I was like, fuck, I didn't share. Sandwich? You want some? Like, you're watching me pretty hard. She's like, no. Like, okay. And then she got all upset because I invited a friend, and she was like, so who's this friend? Huh?
She was offended.
She was so upset.
I was like, am I not good enough? I know I got two, but am I not good enough?
She was so upset. So
Did you know you were not meant to be here for them? You were meant to be here for me?
Right, exactly.
I'm so offended.
Universe, do you not feel that attraction towards me?
She was so upset. She wouldn't stop. So your friend's coming, huh? Okay. What time they getting here? Your friend calling you? And I was,
Who are you texting, your friend? And
like, how you got the time? Your hands full. Like, you still got time to come over here.
but you allowed me to put my number in your phone. Oh.
Anyways, that's the meat story.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. That's good. Good. I mean, even though you lived in Florida, Dani, Alyssia, at the time you were,
Yeah.
Alyssa, you.
Adamant. She's like, I lived in New York. I'm not moving back there.
No, I was not moving to New York.
I was like, all right, we'll see. 2 weeks later, she's flying out.
I love it.
We're team in New York together. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, all good stories. Did you have anything else for them before we go into wrap-up questions?
Nope. That's it.
Oh, I have something else. I wanted to ask you quickly, Alyssa, is this the first person you've dated with kids? And how's that been?
Yeah, 100%. Also, you asked me how I felt about dating Dani after she was in a throuple. That never bothered me. Being in a throuple, like, I just feel like everyone makes their own decisions they want to. As long as everything's consensual, I don't think there should ever be an issue. But fast tracking to her beautiful 3 children, who are now mine, apparently. They all try to call me mommy, but only one gets away with it.
Yeah.
I always told myself I would never date anyone with kids. It was like a thing. Since I was very young, I'm like, I'm not dating anyone with kids. No, I don't want baby mama drama. I'm not dealing with that. But honestly, like, Dani's kids never felt like her kids. They always felt like mine.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So it's
fortunate.
yeah. So it's a little bit of butt of a joke because the only one we allow to like call me mom, she's on the spectrum, so she's autistic for people who don't know what that means. Yeah. And she doesn't even call her own biological mother mommy, but came out full face calling me mom.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'll be in bed
Feels
and be
that
like,
connection.
and she called Dani Madre because she's Spanish. And Dani was very confused, and she was like, mommy, and Dani was there like, I'm here, and she's like, she's not talking to me.
Right.
She's
Because
not.
I was in front of her face and she'd be like, mommy,
Calling
mommy.
me.
And I'm like, yes, baby, I'm right here. What can I help you with?
Yeah.
And she would still call out for mommy. And then we figured out that
No, we didn't figure out. I already knew.
Okay. Well, Alyssa brought it to my attention.
So Dani caught up.
Yeah, basically.
Right, yeah.
A step behind.
Here I am, oblivious. All right.
She's like, wow. Okay.
All right. No problem at all.
Yeah. So ever since then, there's been a lot of others. Can you call me?
Yeah, and I was never like reluctant to like say, hey, I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
I was never like, I've always been so forward with who I am. Like, hey, this is where I've come from. This is like my past.
Yeah.
Like, take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And
she
I
always
started
been
asking, like, so when are you going to see them? You send pictures. Send
right.
pictures now.
And honestly, that by itself, like took me aback because I wasn't used to people being so open-minded with me having kids. Like, people that I would date before would look at me sideways and be like, you have an ex-wife, you have kids. You have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Like automatically making assumptions. Like,
Right. And I'm like, no, it's not like that. And before you even try to explain your story, your situation, they already have that prejudgment.
Yeah.
You know?
well, here's the thing. A lot of people, and I think that a lot of that might come from society and movies.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have an ex-wife or kids or whatever the case may be, you have something else. Okay? There is something else. At the end of the day,
Baggage. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone.
and I don't even like calling it baggage. It's just life, right?
Yeah.
It's just life, and it's either it's a fit, or it's not, or it's something that we can work through, or it's something we can't. It's just life. So even if you don't have the kids, the ex-wife, the baby mama, baby daddy, it doesn't matter. There can be a lot of other things that are looming in the background. I mean, it could be anything. It could be drugs. It could be, last night we were watching, and this is an older show. I didn't even know it existed. It was Millionaire Matchmaker. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, I heard that show. Yeah.
So I just found it on Hulu because I'm like never on Hulu, and I found it on Hulu and we started watching it, and there was this couple, and the one of the people used to do exotic dancing or stripping or something like that, and the girlfriend, she couldn't get over it. Like, she was just like, oh, like, that's such a big part of your past, and I didn't know how to I can't get over it.
Product of their experience.
Right. And so at the end of the day, like, that could be his ex-wife or kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be anything. And so we need to, I feel like as a society, as individuals, we need to charge forward and stop making assumptions just because there's something there. Let's figure out the true person in their soul to figure out if it were a fit or not. You know?
Well, it doesn't define who you are as long as you've grown from your experience.
Right.
Because if you haven't grown or learned anything from your experiences, you're only going to repeat. You're only going to keep repeating them.
Yeah, but I also think people have personalities where they might not be able to get over it, and that's just not the person for you as well.
Exactly.
So you can't look at it.
So that's where the growth comes.
You can't look at that person because they can't get over it as something bad. It's just something because I know there's a lot of things that people do are, things that I see probably I cannot get past. Then I'm like, I should not be trying to build something with this person, and I should know that right away. And I don't think you should be looked at as someone that's not accepting or able to get over that person's past. It's just not meant.
Not the person for you.
Right, exactly. And you shouldn't be moving forward in that case. Now, in this specific episode, well, the thing is that a lot of these things that are in the past, you cannot change, right? It's like what you said, Dani. It's, have you grown since then? He's a whole successful being doing something completely different. He would never even think twice about going back to that life or whatever. And it doesn't even mean, just because someone has done that doesn't even mean it was it doesn't mean that it's what you see in the movies either, so we have to know what the extent is, and is that still the reality today? And then that other person on the other end can say, like, make a decision on, like, okay, well, this really is a non-factor now because they're not doing it and they wouldn't do it, or it's just something that they're not going to be able to heal or grow from to be able to accept that person.
I also feel that too, like, for me, for example, I was one of those people, like, I'm never dating someone that's bi. I'm never dating somebody that has kids. Like, that was somebody that was me. But if you meet somebody and you just feel that connection, that's something that you can't fight. And if that person is not willing to look past that, then that's not their battle to fight. Because I really was, I'm not dating somebody that's been with a guy or like guys or with kids, and look at me now. So
and that's why me personally, I don't love big generalization, like sweeping generalizations, because there can be that one exception to the rule that slides right in, and then then you look silly because not that you look silly. You just never know, until you.
But I just say you can't. For me, I just feel like every relationship have their issue. But for me, I know for me right now in our relationship, I'm like, I know that I'm in love with you and I know that I love you because I look at a lot of things about myself that I used to think about, and I'm like totally breaking all of those barriers because
it's fine.
it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't faze me. I'm not thinking about it. And you know me, I'm very anal about things that I don't like and I don't want to do, and I'm not going to do it. So I really believe like love, if it's love, it's love. Like for real.
Well, that's the thing. When two people are coming together, more than likely there are going to be change. There's going to be change on both ends because you can't expect for two people to come together and mesh their lives together because they're two people, two different people, two different backgrounds, two people, two different upbringings, two people, two different state of minds, train of thoughts.
Oh,
so
I know.
I know you know.
Oh, I know, because some of these Jamaican,
You're
thoughts
gonna start picking up on it, Shenice. You hear it?
Who's going to be gaining up on who?
Yeah, Dani knows better.
I stay quiet. I know.
No, I don't. I talk about it, but I mean, when I said I don't mean any harm, it's just it is a lot of things like
we're very different.
She find disrespectful, and I'm just like, I'm just joking around with you.
You know? Disrespectful on you? No way. I can tell Dani she rude. I've escalated my terms because apparently disrespectful sounds offensive.
Harsh.
Yeah. So instead of saying you're disrespectful, I'll be like, you're rude.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Dani doesn't like the word disrespectful.
I don't. I'm like, I'm not disrespecting you. Like, what are you talking about?
I think it goes back to like delivery. Like it's
all about the
words.
Well, I'm the same way with Dani. Like when Shenice says that, I'm like, that was disrespectful. Like I'd be so confused. Like
right.
I'm lost. Like and I get so frustrated. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm not even gonna talk about it anymore because we're just not gonna see eye to eye on it. So I'm just gonna shut up.
Stay quiet. Stay quiet because we're not.
The gaming stuff you see is happening.
But the inner Aries in me, sometimes I'm just
Inner
like
Aries, we bringing up horoscopes.
The inner Leo in Alyssia and I.
Hello.
The inner Leo in us.
Queen of the
Tell y'all when
jungle
you're
here.
disrespectful.
but I must say the Jamaican culture find a lot of things disrespectful that us Americans don't see as disrespectful. So sometimes it's a battle. I do believe that.
There's a culture barrier in many ways, I think.
Well, that's just like, I mean, every culture is going to be different. I remember one of Alyssa's exes, his dad came, I can't remember where we were. I think we were at somebody's house and his dad came, and I had never met his dad, but I am super respectful. And in my definition of respectful, I always try to introduce myself and, try to be, especially with elders, I'm really big on that, being very, very cautious and respectful of our elders and, or just anyone, period. So I went out to the car, and granted, this time I was probably like, I don't know, 14, 15, 16, somewhere around in that age.
Yeah.
And I went out to the car and saw his dad, and I was like, hey, I'm Shenice. Put my hand out to shake his hand. And he looked down at my hand, and then he looked away.
Oh, no way. I don't remember that.
Yes! I was like horrified. I just slowly withdrew my hand.
That does go back to culture differences.
And walked away. And that culture is African. Nigerian.
So my ex's father was actually a part of Nigerian royalty, so that's probably why he.
So part of Nigerian royalty, and I guess that was disrespectful to him because I'm a child and probably a woman,
right?
And well, a girl at the time. I'm number one, a child. Number two, a female. And here I am trying to shake this man's hand as if I'm his equal, I guess.
Right.
So, you know, I just bring up the story because I never forgot that. I was just
I
like
didn't remember that at
so
all.
taken back. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so rapid questions, you can ask all of them. This is gonna be fire, okay? We're gonna get through these real quick.
All right, are you ready? Ready? Let's go. All right, what would you say is your best money habit?
Best money habit.
Consulting her first. Hands down. Consulting her first.
I hoard my money.
That's a good
I
thing.
hoard my money. I don't overly spend out.
We're just trying to pay for every last one of our meals when we're in San Diego.
Won't let us pay.
I'm a great host. I didn't say that's why I hoard my money so I can
Be a great host.
I can be a great host and spend it when it's time.
Guys, I almost broke my neck trying to pay.
Richard will never forget that.
Everywhere that we went.
He almost broke her foot, her neck, and then the person sitting next to us head just so she could pay.
Every place we went, we were fighting over the check. It was ridiculous. Oh my gosh. We had to like,
That's the only time Shan won, though, when she almost broke her face.
we had to like,
You let her have that one.
And one time we actually gave our
yeah, we had to
debit card.
prepay. We were like,
She
look,
was holding our debit card for us.
yes. We had to like prepay for things. We had to be like, okay, everybody's gonna order. Just put it all on one check, and here's the card. Make sure you run it. Don't accept
Right.
their card.
Behind our back while we're like being ridiculous and slow dancing in the diner. And then I'm like, wait a minute, who paid? Right, what's going on? Danny, we can't be lovey in here. They paid the check.
All right, number two.
Number two, where do you find your motivation?
Ooh, for what?
Life, everything, business, whatever.
That calls for different answers.
It
Honestly.
does.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Honestly,
aspire
yeah.
to be my best self as much as I can. So whether that's like today we went on how many miles?
It was like 5 miles.
Yeah, we hiked and that was really rough because we went into an area. Danny tried to kill me and took me where the mountain lions were.
We didn't see it. We saw lizards. That was it.
Anyway. It was a very steep incline. So like in a moment like that, motivation for me, it was like, oh, this is good for you.
I love how challenges empower you too. Like you guys feed into challenges and channel that energy very positively. Like you get so much positive energy from challenging yourselves and working through it, powering through it, and getting to the finish line. I love that about you too.
Whether it's like finishing like the hike that we did today, or even like I have communication issues.
Yeah.
I don't like to communicate my feelings. I don't. But with her, I know that's a huge, that didn't make or break for her.
Yeah, I'll be half asleep or drunk and she'll be like, let's talk. And I'm like,
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, fine. Like I'm either gonna, express what I feel to her and just get it over with and get over like my fear of like rejection essentially.
Yeah.
Or grow with her. I'd rather grow with her.
Yeah.
Get over all
My favorite
fears.
quote, Shenice, grow through what you go through.
Definitely. I really do admire that of you two because first of all, that's very, you guys are adulting, okay? Y'all are like,
I'm not 30
It's
yet.
hard.
I'm not 30 yet.
31 next month. And it's hard.
But
It's so hard.
I didn't sign up for this, but I'm trying to push through.
it's like so much healthy growth. Like, and that's what I really admire. And y'all are doing it together and really truly challenging each other and working through the challenges together. So I love that y'all just pull all that positivity out of that. If somebody told me we're going to go hike 5 miles, I'm going to be like,
Oh, we thought about you guys the whole way down.
Yeah, we were
I
talking
was well, like, can you imagine Shenice and Shan? We had a full skin of you two. It was great. It was great.
the highlight of the hike.
Danny even pulled out the fake fanny pack. Like, what you need, baby?
It was great.
It was a good fun smile.
We missed you guys on the hike though. No.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back. We'll go do a hike, definitely. Okay.
All right. What advice would you give to someone in the LGBT community that would like to advance in their career or level up in their business?
So I would say the same thing has been instilled in me, which is be true to yourself. Like never try to conform or hide who you are for corporate or for the dollar. Because as soon as you're true to yourself and you're doing what you're passionate about, the money will come to you. Like it's not a day that will go by that like the money will come to you as long as you're staying true to yourself, you're happy, you take care of yourself, and you're doing what you love, period.
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
Yeah, all right, appreciate
You agree?
I co-sign. Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. Do you have a favorite book or podcast?
Oh man, I looked this up and I forgot the author. Many Lives, Many Matters. That's the name of the book. It's my favorite. It depends on the audience. People might take it the wrong way, but essentially it's about a guy who he grows through what he goes through. So he's a psychologist and he gets a client who basically broadens his spectrum and his mindset. And I think it speaks to so many like bounds. Like you went through doctorate schools and how many classes, and it was this one person that was put into your life to help you realize that you were in this box. So that's my book. I live by that book. I reread that book like all the time. I always have it on me.
Awesome. I need to
Anything
read
for
that.
you, Dani?
Yeah, I know podcasts, just a lot of like educational, like tutorial ones.
Dani listens to conspiracy theories podcasts.
That's true. Just because I'm all about perspective. So
Yeah.
even though I may have my own beliefs, I'm always open to listening to like what you believe and understanding your perspective.
Yeah.
So understanding
Super
others'
interesting.
perspectives is always interesting and like, yeah, I love
Any
it.
specific ones that you like love, or any
Um,
podcast that you would say is your absolute favorite?
Which one?
I don't know. I heard you
There's
playing
a
it in the
few.
car.
Yeah, there's a few that I listen to, but definitely like she mentioned, conspiracy theories.
What is it?
Conspiracy theories.
on Spotify. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Alrighty. Last question. What do you like to do in your spare time?
Honestly, sleep.
Which you can't do.
But the problem is I don't have a lot of spare time. We're very busy. As soon as we get up, no matter what time it may be.
Yeah.
So the moment we go to sleep, our
Always
schedule
doing
is
something.
packed. We are nonstop.
Even during the COVID, like
Yeah, even during a global pandemic, we have found the time to start a business, move cross country, like
Go to Mexico.
travel,
buy a couch.
make a
buy
bookshelf, make a bookshelf, like
A beautiful bookshelf.
God,
Oh.
thank you. Our life is nonstop.
My old
Honestly.
neighbor said it the best. He was like, I don't know anyone else but you that would be busy during a pandemic when no one has anything to do. What are you
Right.
doing?
The world is shut down. You should be at home locked in your cave. What are you doing? I'm moving to San Diego. Oh, okay. Good luck.
Right.
Yeah, like
That's great.
all right.
I'm all about using my time wisely. So for me, it's like in my spare time,
Yeah.
it's what can I do in my spare time? Because especially as a flight attendant, I have so much downtime. So usually when I'm working, I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on my fitness. If I'm home, it's like, I'm going to cook or I'm going to do something productive. I'm never idle, which you aren't either. So
Yeah,
we're
no.
a good match in that sense. Which
Is there something that y'all love to do together?
we do everything together, honestly.
We do everything together. Yeah. Yeah, we do. But it's something that we love to do, honestly, as a couple. Like, I think we enjoy our time the most when we're in the kitchen.
That's because you like watching me in the kitchen.
Oh, listen, she cooks. I think
don't help?
It's a great trade.
I'm always happy because like I'll cook and she'll clean everything.
It's a great. Hey, I get to eat for free, basically. All I have to do is clean her dishes. It's fine.
You have a personal chef there.
Exactly. That's the way I see it.
And y'all are, well, would y'all call yourself vegetarian, pescatarian, anything like that? I know that y'all
Forward. That's our favorite thing to say, veggie forward.
veggie forward. Oh, I like that. I like
Feel free to steal it. Let it catch on.
I just need to trademark it so people know it came from me.
I like that. Veggie forward. I'm not there yet, but I'm trying to get there. So like this week.
And you'll start talking about chicken.
This week I did make I made some tilapia in the oven and did some roasted vegetables. They were probably too hard for Shan. I like my vegetables like super crunchy and she likes them soft. But she probably needed 20 more minutes of the vegetables in the oven. But
honestly, I really need them steamed. I love steamed vegetables.
I
They're really soft that I can stick through and it kind of fall off.
I get it. I like them both. No matter how you cook the veggies, I'm down.
He needs everything.
So, but we did that. And then my uncle made some curry chicken for us, and we didn't eat it with rice. We did cauliflower rice.
I'm gonna eat rice today because this rice is so good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm telling you, Jamaican white rice is like the best white rice in the world. Trust me, like Asian white rice is good because it's steamed and it's sticky, but I don't know what they put in there besides salt and their love, but it's the best white rice.
And they like it shellier. They don't like it as sticky. But yeah, I think we've been moving in the right direction. I did ask Shan though. I said, I'm gonna do cauliflower rice.
Really good.
What? Yeah, which is great. And I said, should I get another batch of vegetables going, like a green? You know? And she's like, honestly, Shenice, if you get the other vegetables, I'm going to eat regular rice. So she wasn't ready for both.
At least she was honest.
No, yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like waste food.
Yeah.
She was honest.
I was totally fine with it. I mean, it is what it is. That's fine. I mean, even if she would have rather the regular rice and we pull out the greens or whatever the case may be, that's cool too. So we're trying to be
after I
more.
started eating it, I was like, I should have just got the regular rice with the vegetables.
Like the
I
cauliflower,
love
that's
cauliflower.
reasonable because it's not a complex carb. And
I love cauliflower.
Me? Well, okay. I was gonna
I love
say,
cauliflower. It's just
I love
when you're so used to eating that
Rice. You can't
curry
think of it
chicken
as
with
rice.
well, that's the problem. You're trying to think of it as rice. Don't think of it as rice.
No, I wasn't. I just feel like I was tasting a lot of the ginger in the curry chicken.
Oh, okay.
I was tasting too much of that. I think the regular rice kind of hides the ginger taste.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it soaks up the actual, like, I can see that because cauliflower rice doesn't really soak up the what do you call it, like the sauce, the gravy.
Yeah. It's already very moist.
Right.
So we're trying. We're trying to be like you two, being more veggie forward. So we're trying. So
small step.
I'm not gonna lie, it's hard sometimes, honestly.
Yeah, we
It's
ate a
hard
pint of
because
ice cream today.
We went to
We
Mexico,
shared the pint of ice cream, but
we
ate
still
it.
devoured it within 20 minutes.
Yeah, but we shared. We hiked. It's fine.
All right. Anyway, it's hard because like we went to Mexico and we had half a chicken in 5 minutes.
Okay, here is my thing. This is why I say I'm veggie forward. Since you want to talk about the chicken, because Danny wasn't ready for the chicken.
Chicken is good, man. I don't know.
Oh, I was waiting for Shane to say it because you know that's her favorite line. I love me some chicken. That's it. I specifically don't like to eat meat in this country because of the way that we treat our animals.
See, that's why you should move to Texas because we really take care. We don't feed all our animals.
But you don't know where all the chicken is coming
That's why
from
we
that
shop.
they sell at the
That's
grocery
why
store.
I like to go to HEB.
There are no guarantees though, Shan.
Anyhow, which is why I just omit it altogether. But when we were in Mexico, I saw this lady that looked like she was in her house making this chicken for the entire community.
She
And I'm
was
like,
mad.
she was upset the way she was turning
The
that
hand
chicken.
on the hip said it all.
And I was like, baby, that chicken's gonna be good. The way she's turning that chicken, it's gonna be good. And then he was like, chicken? Like, she couldn't believe it. Okay, chicken. And I'm like, you going or am I going? You want the pesos or am I taking it? Like, who's getting the chicken? And I went in there and I got like a full chicken. The chicken didn't even make it to the Airbnb. We ate the whole thing in the car.
In the car. In the car.
It was so good.
Oh
We
my
were
gosh.
ears and everything, looking for a napkin.
Yeah, they made like homemade tortillas. It was so good.
That's
So,
awesome.
and you know it
Sounds
was
like a good time.
hormone free because you saw them roaming around on the street.
Looking scared at their life like who's gonna get next. Yeah,
It was fresh. It was
Yeah.
good.
it was real fresh.
It was the first time I had chicken in a long time ago. It was good. But yeah.
Alrighty.
Not much idle time. That's what we do.
Sleep.
Alrighty, guys. So please tell our audience how they can get in touch with you to learn more about your wildflower
You got this.
Nope.
You got this.
Wait, sit.
Wildflower
Apothecary.
Apothecary.
Yes.
Yay.
There we go.
Yeah, we're on Facebook. You can just go to Wildflower Apothecary Co. on Facebook, and we're on there. Instagram is also Wildflower Apothecary Co. On Etsy, because there's way too many people on Etsy. We're actually Wildflower Apoth, APOFTH. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we'll put links in our show notes to make sure everybody can get direct links to all of those channels. But we really want to thank you for being our guest today. This has been so much fun. So much insight into your lives and so many different unique perspectives. So we are so grateful to you and for being our first couple or, double on the interview. I know it's a longer episode, but so worth it. So thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we couldn't wait. We're talking about it all day.
Had alarm set just to be here.
That's
Awesome.
Thanks for having us. We had fun.
Of course.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share the video to your friends. In the comment section down below, write how good the video was. And if you're listening to the podcast, make sure to hit a 5-star review. Bye.